Welcome to Agape Counseling and Marriage Services. And today I want to talk about marriage, especially at this time we are in a very hard economic seasons. Marriages might be, if we don't manage our families well, especially in terms of our priorities. If you don't put our priorities right, we might have a problem in marriage circles, especially nowadays when we have a great economic hardships. We are in a time that dollar is hitting at around 150, so things might be even be a bit hard. But it is very important that as you know, husband and wife, they need to renegotiate their life again, and they sit down and they see how can they put their priorities in life right. So Maslow hierarchy of needs talked about the needs which are very basic. We normally start with the basic. Our social classes, especially most of us, we are in the middle classes, and it's a time that we are taking care of our children. It's a time that we have got a lot of economic needs. Maybe we are taking care of our, taking care of our children because of their school fees, their lifespan, and all that. So we need to come back again as a family, and we renegotiate on how we are going to put our priorities right, so that we can be able to manage our economic hardships, and we may not go beyond, and we get ourselves, some families get marriage breakdown because of high cost of living, and because they did not sit down and they think on how are we going to manage ourselves and be able to use what we have, and we live well, and we take our children well, become good steward, even as we are having all these economic hardships. But I'm going to give you some remedies, ways on how we can be able to manage our families, and we live a good life. It may not be happening life, but a good life, a life which meets the needs of each and every one of us, so that we can be able to overcome this season that we are in. Remember, we are we all looking for needs, and the hierarchy. We talk about the Maslow hierarchy of needs, whereby we talk about our basic needs, our security, our belongingness, our self-esteem, and even before we go to what we call self-actualization, we need first of all to finish up our basic needs. So most of us, most of our social classes, maybe our middle class, we need to recheck ourselves, and we see where can we be able to manage these needs. And before we talk about self-actualization, because there are so many people they want to actualize, and yet we are still not yet have even finished our basic necessities. So I want to go through, and I give you some some small tips that we as a family we can be able to sit down and renegotiate, and we talk together with our husband and our wives, and of course our children, and we see what can we be able to do, so that we be able to manage what we have. And the first thing, as the family, or maybe the marriage couple, has to sit down and look at is what we call the budget. So how one is to budget. Do you budget what when you get your salary, or maybe when you get your earning? Do you sit down and rebudget, and you budget what you have? Budgeting is very, very important. There are many of the young couples that they don't even, when they go to the supermarket, they don't even know what they are going to buy. They just pop into the supermarket, they take over the trolley, they troll around and picking what they see in the shelf. At this moment, it is a time that you need to sit down before you even go to the supermarket, and you budget what is your priorities. what is more important? Is this time, what can we be able to buy, and not what we are going to, what we cannot be able to buy. If you go to, you of course buying things in the supermarket, what do you start with? Is it the food? What can you rush to the counter of and of course you take the beer, and you take a thing that you are going to make you very happy in the family, and you forget the very basic need. So the very first thing is very important, that it is good that you budget what you have. You may have good, yes, good money. You may, maybe you are making good money. It's okay, but I'm talking to the middle class families, whereby we are trying to look at the small earning that we have, and we put it on the table together with my wife, and together with your wife and your husband. What do you budget your income? Can you be able to sit now and start budgeting? Put your priorities right. Which come first, and which come second, and which come third and fourth? Which is more important? And should we have to buy to go to buy clothing every now and then? Should you be able to stop one thing, and then we put the other one right? So let's manage. Put your priorities right by doing what we call budgeting. Don't be encouraged for what we call the impulse buying, whereby you buy anything you meet on the counter. And the supermarket, they know very they have what we call, they have the psychology of the mind, whereby they praise the good things in front of their when you get into the supermarket, you are going to be attracted by good things. But were they part of your budget? So is it part of what you're going to buy when you go to supermarket? Can our children keep on crying, and they are crying, so that we can be able to make them happy when we buy anything that they ask of today's life? No, it's very important. Keep on budget on what you're going to do before even you go to that supermarket or anywhere else you go to buy your good things, so that you can be able to manage the small earning that you have. Number two, for the family, and here I'm talking about the families. So if you want to manage your family well, it's very important that you have to do what we call, you live in your means. It's very important for the families to live in their means. This is the time that you don't have to compare your family with other families. Just live you as your family. Just live as your husband of that children. Just live as a wife of that family. Don't compare your family with another family. This is the time you live. Don't live beyond your means. Live within your means. If what you are earning, what you are getting, and this time you should be able to know what your husband get and your wife get. So what is it you put on the table? So you are living, if you live a life which is beyond your means, you are going to have what you call an overstretched family needs, whereby you need much, but you have a little amount. If you cannot be able to buy a big car for the family, just have what you can be able to afford. This is not the time you compare yourself on the road, that I have a small car, I have to take a loan so that I can be able to buy a big jeep of vehicle, and the family cannot be able to, you cannot be able to sustain. It's very important you just live in your means. Even the wives who are, and we love you very much, kindly, this time don't compare your husband with another husband. Don't compare your family to another family. Don't buy things that are not part of what you have, what is your priority. Please, this is a time that you have to live in your means. Just live in your means, and it is very important. It is going to let anything else that you could have bought, which is not in your plan, or things that are not part of your living as per now. You can be able to hold them until the things you reach to that time. So it is very, very important, even to the newly married couple. It's very important. Don't rush to buy big things in your house, or only that you are living a house, a rented house. You can just be able to save this money, and you can buy them when you are in your house. So just live in your means, have what you have, and you live your life. Don't live somebody's life. Live in your means is very, very important. And number three, it is very important to manage your borrowing. If this time we have got a lot of spending, but and our spending spree is very much. So it and people, they keep on borrowing so that they spend. It's very important that at this moment, manage what you have in your pocket, manage what you have in your bank, manage what you have by minimizing your borrowing. Don't borrow what you cannot be able to pay. When you keep on borrowing, it means that you are making your family poor, and you're going to live a life of poverty, and you're going to all your money are going to be drained by borrowing. So if you can live with borrow, but you borrow wisely. Don't borrow money. Keep on borrowing here and there, and you are borrowing money to go and eat nyama choma. So just borrow what you can be able. You borrow because you want to sustain maybe your family, so that as the salary comes, you can be able now to pay back. Or maybe you are borrowing of development, or maybe you are borrowing because you want to look for to start a business. But it is very important. You don't just borrow because money are there. The goodies of money are there for you to borrow. Just make sure you borrow something that it is sustainable, and you can be able to pay it back without overstretching your family income. And number four, it's very important that you are spending. How do you spend your money? How do you spend what you have? How does even your family spend? Sometimes you don't have to go every Sunday, that you spend a lot of money with your families, and of course, and you go anywhere you want to go because you have to go. This is a time that you have to look at, where should I go and where should I not go at this moment. Remember, the petrol is is very high cost, and even just moving out, even when you don't have a vehicle, it's very expensive when you have the family moving out. Sometimes you can be able to look at, where can I go and where should I not go at this moment, because we are trying to look at, how can I be able to sustain what we have, and we manage it well without overstretching our incomes and bringing down our family lifespan. So it is very, very important. Manage your spending. You can even your eating habit, you can be able to manage it well. You eat well, but you can be able to manage, what can we buy at this today, and what can we not buy, so that you can skip and we buy it tomorrow. And the other thing, which is very, very important, is that many of the people, they don't, of course they don't give. It's even very important. I can encourage the family that what you have, whether small or big, just have a part of that money, just give it to God, and of course the church, where you do fellowship, where do you go to church, of course, where do you tithe, who is your pastor. Just go, give to God, and read it to God, and by means God shall multiply your earning. So it is very important, even giving to God. Give even alms to the poor. It's not bad when you get somebody to whom you can be able to assist. We call it the alms giving. It's very important. It helps to manage even what you have, so in your pocket cannot be taken up by the devourer. So it's very, very important for you to take these good precautions. One, do the budget as a family, so that you may maintain your family, and you don't fight, you don't quarrel, you don't you don't overstretch yourself. Do your small budgeting before you go to buy. And number two is very important, that you have to live in your means. Don't live somebody's life. This is the time that you live in your means. Don't just look at somebody's family. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare your family. Don't compare the husband. Don't compare what they are driving. Don't compare what they are eating. Don't compare where they are living. Just live in your means. And number three, I told you that is very, very important, that minimize your spending. Check how you spend your money. Check how your wife is spending. Check how your husband is spending. Don't drink everything. Your children need to go back to school. Don't minimize your spending. It's very, very important. So all this, and even giving to the church, it's very, very important. All this will make the family live well. They live with what they have, and they enjoy life. And even as this life is so much difficult, the life you can be able to bring your cost of living down and manage yourself well, and you live well in peace. Family quarrels because of living a life which is not theirs. But if you live your life, you will live in peace with your family. In Jesus' name.